This 1,500-meter final turned into a true tactical battle. For most of the race, the runners stayed tightly grouped, saving energy and waiting for the perfect moment to attack. But the last 100 meters decided everything.
The 23-year-old from the University of Oslo. The heat of the recent European under-23s. And on the inside, the British Universities champion from the University of Edinburgh, Sarah Calvert. Away we go then, no German in this final. The last one to win it was in Naples, Katharina Grantz. Now, what kind of pace will they go for in this? Straight to the front. Then is the 24-year-old Sarah Calvert. She's a 4:08 woman at her best, which was this year. But they have gone off very, very calmly at the beginning of this race. And Gina Løvnes of Norway is right next to her, the 22-year-old from the University of Oslo, is the Norwegian indoor champion this year. Nobody seems to really want to be at the front as they come to the start-finish line with 3 laps to go, which has prompted the Dutch girl Armina Martug, bronze medalist at 5,000 from the European under-23s 2 years ago in 2023. And the orange-bibbed woman has decided to take up the running. Going into second place is Kimberly May, 22-year-old New Zealander in her first major championships, who goes to the Providence College in Rhode Island in the USA. That's right up in the northeast of the country. Now Marina Martinez Ortuno is going to make her move. Goes to the University of Barcelona. She was 6th at the World Junior Championships at 800 meters in 2021, the same year that she took her silver medal over 1,500 meters at the European Juniors. Margaret Liebich now moving up as well from the University of Washington. Showed she was coming into form by getting a new personal best in the race before arriving at these championships. Still nobody really wanting to go. It's a little better than in that first part of the race. 2 laps to go. It will probably kick off very soon. Who's going to pull the trigger first, though? Nobody yet. You can see they are 3 deep. There's a lot of women here who are trusting their late kick. It wasn't much faster, to be honest with you, a couple of years ago. The races of late have been pretty cagey. All of them in the last 5 or 6 finals have been over 4 minutes. So then, now beginning to wind things up a little bit. Still Martug inside. Calvert has managed to extricate herself from that little hole in the middle of the pack and is beginning to come down the outside. But immediately she tries to come to the front. They start to speed up. Bell goes. Martug leads. Martinez Ortuno is second. Calvert on the outside going well too, and is well placed here. Now they start to go. Martug not allowing the Spanish girl to go past her as they go to the back straight. Calvert still, look at her, she's digging in now, tried to get past those inside her. On the inside is the Swiss Jocelyn Wind from the University of Fribourg. Went to the 2023 World Championships with 4 national titles, and Calvert has finally managed to get past them as they hit the bend. 200 meters to go. The British athlete is reaching for gold medal, but can she get there? Rosa Twyford trying to get there too, but here comes Kimberly May on the outside. Wind, can she run like the wind to get there first? Wind is coming through. She's going to take it. It's going to be a gold for Switzerland. Calvert's going to hold on for the silver medal, and May gets the bronze medal for New Zealand. (4:19.96) the winning time for Jocelyn Wind, and the Swiss national champion with World Championship experience shows it here at the World University Games.
The women's 1,500 meters final at the World University Games unfolded as one of those rare races where patience, positioning, and psychological control mattered just as much as physical speed. In a stadium filled with anticipation, 12 of the most talented university athletes in the world assembled on the start line, each aware that the absence of the defending champion had transformed the race into a completely open contest. Opportunities like this do not appear often in championship racing, and every runner understood that a moment of perfect execution could turn a promising career into a historic achievement. Among the competitors stood an athlete representing Switzerland, carrying not only her own ambitions, but also the possibility of making history. No Swiss runner had ever captured the title in this event at the World University Games, and that knowledge added a subtle layer of pressure. Yet championship races rarely reward those who panic. Instead, they reward athletes who understand how to read the rhythm of the race and strike when the moment is exactly right. From the moment the starting gun echoed through the stadium, it became clear that this would not be a fast, record-chasing race. Instead of an aggressive pace from the front, the athletes settled almost immediately into a controlled rhythm. The opening 400 meters were measured and cautious, with no one willing to sacrifice their finishing strength by pushing the pace too early. The pack stayed tightly compressed, runners moving in clusters, carefully guarding their positions while avoiding unnecessary effort. This type of tactical race often resembles a chess match played at high speed. Every movement has consequences, and every decision must balance risk and patience. Athletes occasionally drifted toward the front, testing the reaction of the field, but none of these early surges were sustained. Each time someone appeared ready to increase the pace, the rest of the group calmly followed, neutralizing the move before it could create real separation. As the race approached the halfway mark, the tempo remained steady rather than explosive. The runners were still closely packed together, often 3 athletes wide across the track. This formation created both opportunity and danger. While the tight grouping allowed runners to conserve energy by drafting behind others, it also increased the risk of getting boxed in when the real acceleration eventually began. With just over 2 laps remaining, the subtle tactical battle intensified. A few athletes began creeping closer to the front, aware that waiting too long could leave them trapped behind slower traffic. The pace increased slightly, but the field still refused to break apart. It was a delicate balance. Everyone wanted to be in position for the final sprint, yet no one wanted to become the runner responsible for dragging the entire pack toward the finish. The tension inside the stadium grew as the runners entered the penultimate lap. Spectators could sense that the decisive moment was approaching. Championship 1,500-meter races often explode suddenly, and the athletes themselves could feel the pressure building with every stride. When the bell rang to signal the final lap, the race instantly transformed. The calm tactical patience of the earlier laps disappeared, replaced by urgency and aggressive positioning. Every athlete now fought for the best possible line through the turns. The inside lane became incredibly valuable, forcing several runners to swing wide in order to maintain momentum. This meant covering additional distance, but sometimes it was the only option to avoid being trapped behind slower competitors. It was at this moment that a British athlete launched one of the boldest moves of the race. Accelerating powerfully around the outside of the pack, she surged toward the front with a decisive burst of speed. The move immediately electrified the stadium. For a brief moment, it appeared that the race might already be decided. Her acceleration created a visible gap, and the rest of the field scrambled to respond. However, championship races often punish moves that come just a little too early. While the British runner's surge forced the pace dramatically higher, it also required an enormous expenditure of energy. Behind her, several athletes remained composed, carefully measuring their responses rather than reacting with panic. Among them was the Swiss runner, who had spent the entire race conserving strength while maintaining excellent positioning within the pack. As the runners approached the final straight, the early attacker began to feel the effects of her effort. The gap that had looked so threatening only seconds earlier started to shrink. The chasing athletes sensed weakness and prepared to unleash their final acceleration. Then, in the last 100 meters, the race reached its true climax. From just behind the leaders, the Swiss athlete produced a perfectly timed finishing kick. Her acceleration was smooth, but devastatingly effective, cutting through the fading leaders with remarkable efficiency. While others struggled to maintain their speed after the brutal pace of the final lap, she appeared almost fresh, her patience finally paying off at exactly the right moment. Stride by stride, she closed the remaining distance, surged past her rivals, and crossed the finish line first, securing not only the gold medal, but also a historic victory for Switzerland. What made the performance so impressive was not just the final sprint, but the discipline that preceded it. By resisting the temptation to attack too early and carefully reading the dynamics of the race, she executed one of the most perfectly timed finishes of the entire championship. In middle-distance racing, victory often belongs not to the athlete who leads the longest, but to the one who understands when the race truly begins. In this final, that moment came in the last 100 meters, and the Swiss runner seized it with flawless precision, writing her name into the history of the World University Games.